This should be a very important game tonight. Brenzel again makes a nice cut to the outside.
You can talk about second and third effort.
To the pylon, touchdown, Charlestown. Great catch in front of the goal line.
That was a perfect throw for the sophomore quarterback.
Makes a great cut up the field. It's Gonzalez with the carry. Bounces to the outside, to the back of the end zone. What a catch by Ryan Wynn. Hello, Boston, on a beautiful evening here at White Stadium for another Boston High School exam school football rivalry tonight as the Latin Academy Dragons will be taking on the Boston Latin Wolfpack. Hello, everybody. I'm Pat Flaherty, joined by my partner, as always, Alan Platt. Alan, we saw last week another part of this exam school football rivalry that started a couple of years ago. O'Brien took down Latin School 28-12. Boston Latin School dealing with a lot of injuries coming into this game. Meanwhile, Latin Academy picking up a big win last week against Tech Boston. So this is sort of a turning point for either team. Latin School can really go south if they lose tonight. Latin Academy can really take a big step forward with their second win of the season.
Oh, yeah. Well, most time in high school, coaches do think the third game of any season is really key because by that time you've pretty much hopefully worked out the kinks with the younger kids involved. Giving them a chance to have a couple of games under their belt. Weird start for both teams. Like you said, Latin, I mean, bottom line is they give up 75 points in their first two games defensively, which head coach Ray Butler, I mean, a lot of work has to be done on that side, obviously.
That's right.
Latin Academy, meanwhile, like you said, got trounced at Randolph and lost an out-of-conference, out-of-city game that doesn't mean anything in the standings, but they gave up a lot of points. But they bounced back last week. Close game. Good close win against Tech Boston. So you're right. This game is sort of key for both teams. You know, Rocco Ziza wants to get his team to take advantage of last week's win.
That's right.
And meanwhile, Ray Butler hopes he can get back some of his injured players so they can field a really full roster.
No question. Now, we're talking about Latin Academy, and one of the reasons for their win last week against Tech Boston was their running game, and that was fueled by Robert Merrick, number 19, a big bruising running back for the Dragons.
Well, Merrick, he's the start of their running back, as you mentioned, 45 yards. It's a tough game. It was like a 2-point game, I think, last week. So the offensive line is going to be key, obviously, and for Latin Academy, they lost, I think, the entire line from last year.
All the starters, that's
They
right.
lost a total of 16 seniors, which is really unbelievable. Usually, you know you're going to lose maybe 7, 8, 9, sometimes 10, but 16 is huge.
That's right.
So Rocco Ziza has really gone back to square one in terms of trying to develop an offensive line. But that running back is going to be big in this contest.
No question. Meanwhile, for the Boston Latin School, certainly a tough loss last week, but one of the players who really shined with just a couple of plays last Friday night was DeAndre Harris. He's our spotlight player tonight. Very good receiver for Latin.
I'll tell you, Harris for Boston Latin, the entire game, I was wondering why they didn't go more to him. Well, they didn't actually throw the ball a whole lot, but this is one of the big catches he had. This set up a touchdown for Latin, and I was just surprised that they just didn't target him a lot more. He was double-teamed a few times, but one of his catches was through double-team action. So it's one of those situations where I think tonight you may look for Latin to go to him. He runs a lot of deep patterns, but he also has the ability to go over the middle. You can see right there he's able to catch a touchdown pass. So Harris will be a key player, obviously, for Boston Latin.
Yeah, for week 1, he had a 53-yard touchdown catch against Cambridge. Then last week, we saw the 2 catches for 50 yards. One set up a touchdown, like you mentioned. The second one was a touchdown. So certainly a guy that we're going to look out for here tonight. Now, for more on this game, we're going to go down to our sideline reporter, Leverett Ball, who's got an update on one of the injured players who we think might be able to come back or not for Boston Latin School. Leverett, what do you have?
Thanks, guys. So Boston Latin quarterback Matt Susick is not suiting up tonight. He's still recovering from a concussion that he suffered in week 1 against Cambridge. And so junior Roy Thompson will be getting the start under center for the Wolfpack. Now, Thompson is more of a running quarterback in comparison to Susick, who's more of a pocket passer. So we'll see how that affects the Wolfpack's game plan tonight. Don't be surprised, though, if Thompson does try to make some plays with his legs and with that athletic ability. Now, Susick is out indefinitely. He's still being evaluated, so it's unclear as to when he'll return. Gentlemen, back to you.
Lever, thanks very much. We saw Roy Thompson fill in as a starting quarterback last week. We're going to see the same thing again this week. Coach Butler said, Thompson would probably still start today, but if Sussex was ready, he could maybe get a few snaps. But once again, not available. Concussions are tricky.
It's a really tough break for Boston Latin, because if Sussex was able to come back, then Butler could do some different things with Thompson. But at this point, Thompson is the whole show like he was last week against O'Brien.
So we're just about set to go here at White Stadium. Boston Latin, who won the toss, they're going to receive. They're in the purple uniforms with the gray pants. Meanwhile, Latin Academy in the white jerseys, black and yellow uniforms, black pants for the Dragons. We got Will Marchie and Ulysses Brenzel back to receive for Boston Latin.
Marchie had a big 75-yard run in the game against Cambridge, so he has some ability.
Jack Sullivan with the kickoff. It's fielded right around the 14. They go with the reverse once again for the Wolfpack. Here comes Brenzel back up the middle for Boston Latin School, and he's dragged down right around midfield. 34-yard return there for Uli Brenzel.
Well, we saw last week Latin likes this handoff, this reverse handoff, and Brenzel was able to find a seam, and you like the way he just put it in full gear. Nice return out to close to midfield.
Starters for Boston Latin, Roy Thompson again at quarterback. Brenzel, one of the few healthy running backs for Boston Latin. Markey and Harris, the wideouts, and Jake Leonardo is the tight end. Back to school once again in that spread formation. Brenzel, the lone back in the backfield, to hand it off to Brenzel on first down. Double reverse. Trickery. Now it's Thompson, who almost got tackled in the backfield. Now he makes his way towards the sideline of Latin Academy and picks up 6. Make that 4, I believe, on first down.
Now some trickery on the first play of the game. Looks like a reverse here. There's a reverse, and then a flip back to Thompson. And again, because Thompson is a decent runner, we'll see some plays set up just for him, just like that one.
So 4-yard pickup there on first down. Ball now at the Latin Academy 46-yard line, so it'll be 2nd and 6 now for the Wolfpack. This time Thompson going to the air. He's got Markey on second down, who picks up a first down as he makes his way up to the 37.
I'll tell you, very decisive on that pass. As soon as he got it, Markey was just slid into the slot.
Markey had a very big game against Cambridge back in week 1. He had a kick return for a touchdown and a receiving touchdown. Didn't do much of anything against O'Brien last week, so you wonder if Coach Butler wants to get him involved early.
Oh, definitely. I think O'Brien really keyed on him because he had that big game in Cambridge.
Now on first down, Thompson once again going to the air. This time it's to Harris. Similar play. DeAndre Harris shaking off some tacklers, makes his way up to the 28.
Interesting. Boston Latin comes out. First series from scrimmage with passing the ball. Had that the first down trick play, but now if one pass to each side of the field. Harris, that was a spotlight play before the game, and good talent. Like that second effort.
Here's Roy Thompson. 3 touchdown passes through the first 2 games of the season. That was a first down for Boston Latin. They go to the air again to Markey. That one was low, and it hit the turf before Markey could get his hands on it.
Yeah. Timing was off on that one. A little bit of a rush by Thompson. Second and 10, we got some single coverage right down here in front of us on Harris. Markey in the slot. That spread formation, like you said, Pat, they're really trying to spread out this Dragon defense.
On second down, it's Thompson going to take it himself on the keeper. He's got some room. Roy Thompson past the 10, up to the 7-yard line. They mark him down at the 6. 23-yard pickup there for Thompson.
We talked about him being a good running quarterback, just like Leverage was saying, and excellent example right here. Stutter step, stop and go. Almost lost the football. Good, strong arm to keep that one, tuck it in.
27-yard rushing yard so far for Roy Thompson as he goes to the air here on first down, and that ball is batted away. That was Andrew Sahatchian with the deflection for Latin Academy.
The quick shot of Ray Butler, the Boston Latin head coach. Latin would love to be able to score first, open this game. Brenzel.
And Brenzel makes his way towards the goal line. He's about a yard short. So it'll be 3rd and goal now for the Wolfpack.
Brenzel. He's trying to find some room. And we talked about Latin Academy having an entirely new offensive line. But again, a lot of these kids play both ways. So the defensive line also has some inexperience.
Brenzel again, this time right near the goal line. He gets pushed back by that Latin Academy front. So the Dragons hanging tough here in the red zone. It's going to be 4th and goal now for the Wolfpack.
Brenzel looks like he had a little bit of, well, actually, there was pushback, like you said.
It looked like he was in, maybe.
Yeah, I think he slid right by his teammates, 74, trying to throw him a block. Well, they're close enough to go for this.
4th and goal now for the Wolfpack. Thompson. They
Fumble
the football. Doesn't matter who recovers on 4th down. Just a treacherous way to end that drive. Such a good drive for the Wolfpack, but they couldn't capitalize.
Well, you see the ball never went cleanly to either Thompson or Brenzel. And like you said, it didn't really matter who recovers it because it was a 4th down play. So Latin Academy brings their offense out for the first time.
Dragons starting lineup. Zach Maffeo returning as the starting quarterback for the Dragons. We talked about Merrick, also Malcolm Crispin in the backfield for Latin Academy. Suazo and Williams are the wideouts. On first down, the handoff to Merrick. And he pile drives his way up to the 14. So a 3-yard pickup there on first down.
We knew he was going to be highlighted in this game. You'll see a lot. His second effort. And we always talk about leg drive with some of these running backs, and Merrick showed that on that first carry.
Second and 7 now for the Dragons. Trying to get out of the shadow of their own end zone. Handoff to Merrick again. Makes a nice cut up the field. Merrick's finally dragged down at the 37.
You talk about vision with a running back, and that was all made. A yard after the line of scrimmage, cuts right here. There you go. Opens things up in the middle. Put through the linebacker off balance. Now we're seeing both teams off with impressive first drives.
They actually mark him down at the 29, so that's a, the 39, yeah. So that's a 25-yard pickup there for Merrick. Malcolm Crispin now the deep back in for Latin Academy here on first down. The handoff to Crispin. Finds the edge, and then he's wrapped up at the 43-yard line.
Yeah, Latin Academy trying a little bit of a change of pace with their running game. You got Merrick working in between tackles, so you got Crispin, his first carry. More of a quick speedster type, trying to get outside. Good job to bring him down by Harris.
3-yard pickup there for Crispin on first down. DeAndre Harris making the tackle. That's his second tackle of the game so far. Now on second down, they pitch it over the left side. And good play here for Latin Academy, as that's number 6, Lucas Suazo, the receiver, getting it on the end around.
Yeah, Suazo's only a sophomore, so this is some good varsity action for the youngster. You can see decent speed to get to turn the corner.
Yeah, they mark him down at the
get a first down. Yeah.
Boston Latin 49, so nice pickup there for Suazo.
That play actually developed pretty well. You can see a nice block by Crispin to let Suazo get out to the corner.
Another first down for Latin Academy, now in Boston Latin School territory. Nice cut from Crispin, who makes his way up to the 44. Latin Academy doing what they want to do. They're a ground and pound football team at this point in the season.
Oh yeah, it's all running right now. No need to change at all, because started out with Merrick being effective with that big 25-yard run, and now you're getting Crispin and Suazo involved.
DeAndre Harris with another tackle for the Wolfpack. 2nd and 5 now for Latin Academy. The handoff to Crispin. Finds a hole and then keeps his feet churning past the 40 up to the 38-yard line.
Yeah, Crispin is smallish type sophomore, only 5'5", listed at 140. You can see he's able to follow his blocking. And again, that's coaching, when you coach your players to finish off your runs like that. I think Latin wants a timeout defensively to get themselves squared away.
Well, certainly for Boston Latin School, you have that great drive. You get down on the goal line. You just don't punch it in. You have a mishap on 4th down. You just had a rough week last week. You think you're moving in the right direction, then you have that mishap. You got to think Coach Butler's just like, guys, we just got to settle down.
Yeah, that's the key.
We just got to settle down.
Exactly, because they're getting pounded right now. It's all running.
Our sideline reporter, Leverett Ball, has an update for us. Leverett, what's happening?
Thanks, guys. So one player to watch tonight for Boston Latin is senior Will Markey. Now, he is a team captain this year, and while playing mostly defensive back last year, is actually picking up more of a role on offense and starting tonight at wideout. He also actually is a major threat as a kick returner and actually had a 70-yard kick return for a touchdown last week against Cambridge. We'll see what he can do this evening. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Leverett. We saw Markey with a reception there on that first drive. We got to think that the Wolfpack will try to go back to him along with DeAndre Harris.
Well, I think it's going to be a passing game for the Wolfpack, definitely. I mean, Thompson, nice start out on that first drive. And this might be a high-scoring game, actually.
That was a first down for Latin Academy. Man in motion is Whitmore, the sophomore, showing off some speed, but he's wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. Actually might have lost a yard or two as he's brought down right at the 40.
Yeah, one of the linebackers, Danny Dang for Latin. Watch 54. Chase him down. You see him on the left of your screen. Once Whitmore tries to cut back in. Yeah, you see the tackle. Good job. Good pursuit.
Zach Maffeo, his 2nd year as starting quarterback for this Latin Academy team. Now on 2nd down, they give it to Crispin, who makes a nice cut upfield. Regains that yardage and then some for Latin Academy.
Great quickness to the line of scrimmage.
They mark him down at the 36-yard line.
First passing situation for Latin Academy, 3rd and...
It's like 3rd and about 8.
About 8, right. Maffeo, we saw him last year when he was starting. He has a decent arm. Likes to roll out.
Threw a lot of passes to Ryan Wynn last year for Latin Academy, who had a ton of receiving touchdowns.
Wynn was the all-around guy for the Dragons.
The big question for Latin Academy right now is their pass protection with the inexperienced linemen up front. They try to run the scissor play, but it's snuffed out by Boston Latin.
Good job.
Coming up to make the tackle, number 62. We don't have him 62 on the roster, but he comes across to make a nice play.
Yeah, tried a little deception, and like you said, stay in the area, watch the football. So 4th down, I think Suazo's the punter, so he should be areas.
Brenzel again back to receive. We saw Brenzel fumble a punt last week against O'Brien, but then he came right back and had a big punt return to get the Wolfpack deep in O'Brien territory. So you can certainly do some things, return on the football. High spiraling kick by Suazo. That's going to roll down to the 1-yard line. Did they stop it before they stepped in? I think they did.
Let's see what the official says. Wow.
That's some officials
Watch. Yeah.
talking it over now as we see the replay.
Crazy bounce for Latin Academy now. Well, he was in the, look at the ball never went to the end zone. Yeah.
Raymond Kelly, who was the one who downed it, it looked like he might have stepped into the end zone. If you're touching the ball while you were touching the end zone, then they will bring it up to the 20. Now it looks like we're going to have to re-kick.
Oh, he had a... I didn't see a flag, but there was a 5-yard walk-off against Latin Academy. It's a real break for Boston Latin because they would have been stuck at their 1-yard line. The referee talking to Ray Butler.
There wasn't much there wasn't much explanation from the referees. So Ray Butler's trying to figure out, did they down it inside the 1 or was it a touchback? If it's a touchback, you might want to decline the penalty. If it wasn't a touchback and they down it at the 1, then obviously Latin will want them to re-kick. So we'll do it all over again, this time from the 42-yard line. Once again, Brenzel back to receive. Another high spiraling kick, this one much shorter. And it's actually going to bounce back towards the 29-yard line. So just a 14-yard net punt there for Suazo. And Boston Latin with much better field position now as they get their second possession of the ball game at their own 29.
Well, let's see if Thompson, that quarterback, keeps that arm oiled up to get the ball downfield. Like you said, impressive drive all the way down, inside the 5, and just couldn't punch it in on 4th down.
First down, they give it to Brenzel. He tries to find the edge, but he's forced out of bounds. Yeah, by the Latin Academy defense, including number 51, Philip Avon, one of the linebackers.
Yeah, Avon and Crispin both over there. One of the problems with Latin, with all these injuries that we talked about in the open, it's easy for Latin Academy defensively to key on Brenzel. Brenzel is he's their sort of the mainstay runner. So number 5, wherever he goes, is going to be followed, with or without the ball.
Second down and 10 after no gain on first down, and now Brenzel makes his way past the 35. They mark him down to 36.
There you go, simple handoff. See, Brenzel gets off his spot quickly and helps the timing of the blocking up front.
Second and 4 now for Latin Academy as Brenzel gets close to the 40-yard line. That should be a first down for Latin Academy. It was actually 3rd and 4.
Close, so see where they mark it. That's going to be the end of the first quarter.
First down, Wolfpack.
So that'll do it for the first quarter here at White Stadium. Both teams running the football well, but no score so far. Roy Thompson with the biggest play of the game at this point with a nice run, but Wolfpack couldn't capitalize. We'll be right back with the second quarter here on Game of the Week right after these words.
Green hat, red hat, oops. Red shirt, blue shirt, yellow shirt, oops. Yellow pants, red pants, green pants, oops.
Welcome back to White Stadium in Jamaica Plain for another matchup of two exam school football rivals here in Boston, as Boston Latin and Latin Academy with no score just before we start the second quarter. Folks, if you want to follow us on social media, go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/GameOfTheWeekBoston. A lot of good stuff up on there. You can also follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. Now on first down, it's Thompson with the carry. And he gets dragged down at the line of scrimmage as Whitmore came up to make the tackle there on first down.
Yeah, Whitmore's been involved a couple of times. Another sophomore, Sakai. Watch him, the 32 in white. Chases him down. Good leverage there and just used the jersey to pull him down. Yeah, a couple of sophomores for Latin Academy showing pretty well here in this first quarter.
Coach Ziza praised Whitmore's speed, especially on offense, but you saw him use it on defense that time. They get it to Markey here on second down. He comes up with the catch and is dropped at the 44-yard line. Crispin coming up with a stop that time.
Again, Thompson's showing a good arm. Markey going up to get that, but I think it's good for the players to Ray Butler, the Boston Latin coach, is really mixing up this offense, letting them have some runs and passes, trying to keep Latin Academy off balance.
3rd and 6 now for the Wolfpack. They hand it off to Brenzel, who fights forward. He's going to be short of the first down.
It's about a yard, maybe a yard and a half. The way things have been going, Latin might consider going for this. You got Brenzel. Just sort of, yeah, he'll be short a little more than a yard, looks like.
If Latin Academy's defensive backs keep their distance here at the line of scrimmage, I would think Latin School would just throw it to one of their receivers
they
with that much room. They only need a yard.
They got plenty of space. Yeah, you're right. See, it's all single coverage.
They faked it to Thompson. Wide open is Markey, but it was way too far in front of him as Thompson.
Yeah, Markey actually faked that play you were talking about, Pat, and then just scooted downfield. Watch Markey, number 11, middle of your screen. He's off the screen already. Thompson got so excited to see his teammates so wide open and alone that overthrew him by about 5 yards. But hey, I think they're going to come back to that play, though.
I do too.
But they won't wait until a 4th down.
Here's another look at it.
Look at it again. See, the cornerback just misplayed it.
Thompson had to throw it. He had a man in his face, but he probably needed to put a little bit more air under it. You let that receiver run under it.
Exactly, because there's nobody there. Yeah, those are the kind that give you nightmares if you're Thompson, because there was no defensive back anywhere near. So all you had to do is loft it up there. You just could have floated it up. And Markey's a good enough receiver. You would, like you said, you could have run under it.
So possibly 2 touchdowns not on the board for Latin Academy. Now on first down, it's Merrick picking up 2 on the play.
Interesting. Talk about 2 teams that have given up a lot of points so far this year. And even though their offenses have moved the ball, defense makes big plays to turn the ball over.
2nd and 8 now. They flip it over the right side. That time it's to Williams, who gets wrapped up and for no gain might have even lost a yard.
Trying that wide receiver inside screen, and Boston Latin players just stayed in their areas and snuffed it out. He had 2 blockers right in front of him, but Thompson. Yeah, Thompson snuck through to make the one-on-one tackle.
Thompson angry he missed that throw,
no
taking it
doubt.
out on defense.
Oh, well, it's funny that a lot of coaches will say that. Not jokingly all the time. They say when you're on offense and you play both ways, you make a glaring mistake on one side of the football. The next couple of plays on the opposite side, you're really involved and aggressive.
3rd and 8 now for Latin Academy. They pitch it over the left side to Suazo again. Finds a small crease and makes his way past the 45 up to the 44-yard line. It's going to be about 5 yards short of the first down, so it'll be 4th and 5 now for the Dragons.
Has Crispin in front of him. Nice block by Crispin and lets Suazo cut back in. Punt. Huh.
Disappointed Coach Butler there on the sideline, but his defense has been pretty stout so far here in the first half. Another low, or a high punt rather, that doesn't go very far as it rolls towards the sideline.
No surprise.
No return for Latin School.
No surprise that Rocco Ziza didn't want to take a chance on that.
So still no score here at White Stadium. Both teams have had possession. Latin School, much better opportunities at trying to score
the 1
here
yard
in the first
line,
half.
right?
They're in the
Inside
1 yard
one.
line and then missed a touchdown on a wide open receiver streaking down the left sideline. So now for their 3rd possession. Latin
and
School.
some of those coaches on the Boston Latin sideline thinking just what you said. Wow, we should be up 12-0.
At least 12-0.
If not 14 or 16.
A little bit of confusion, it looks like, here for Latin School.
They're
They're waiting
missing
for another player.
Yeah. Offensive lineman didn't know it was his turn.
On first down, they hand off to Brenzel.
Another one-on-one tackle.
Yeah, Merritt came up for the stop there.
Yeah. See, Merritt left your screen will come up. Good leverage.
Brenzel with just 22 yards so far on 8 rushing attempts. Now on 2nd down, Thompson again trying to go down the sideline. That time to Leonardo, but again, pass a little too high for him.
Yeah, he's just got to calm down a bit. He's trying to lead his wide receivers so much that that's the 2nd overthrow he's had. Actually had good protection that time.
Yeah.
So he could have actually waited another tick.
That was a nice play design there as they had one of the receivers come towards the quarterback for that quick throw.
The sideline
had Leonardo flare out towards the sideline. Third and 9 now for the Latin Wolfpack. Thompson looking for Harris, and there was some miscommunication between the receiver and the quarterback.
Looked like Machi thought it was coming to him. He ended up throwing it in between both receivers. He has time. I'm not sure what. Well, he thought Harris was going to come back. Yeah, the way that Al was throwing, looked like he was expecting Harris to stop and then come back to try to get a first down catch. But you're right, Pat. I'm not sure why the Latin Academy corners is playing so far off the receivers. They're giving them plenty of free space to try to operate.
End-over-end punt there for the Wolfpack, and Latin Academy corrals it right at the 48-yard line. That was Whitmore back to receive for the Dragons. 35-yard punt for Boston Latin.
You see Whitmore, and sometimes you can lose it like for a second in the lights and couldn't make a clean catch, but he did the smart thing, went right down to the ground to smother the ball.
Both these teams keep trading possessions. Latin Academy hasn't really been near the end zone yet. They have their best field position to start so far here in the first half. We'll see if they do anything with it. On first down from their own 48, they hand off to Merrick. Merrick with a power run past midfield up to the 47.
Here's Merrick. Good size. He's like 6 feet, about 190 pounds. You can see he likes running in between tackles.
Second and 6 now for Latin Academy. And then Suazo in motion, and now I believe it's going to be a procedure penalty on the Dragons.
Either that or delay a game. Yeah, procedure, you're right, Pat.
Ball.
Yeah, take it back to make it second and, what, 10 again? That's... I'm just surprised I haven't seen Maffeo throw the ball more. I mean, he's coming into the game, like I said, in the first 2 games of the season, Boston Latin's given up a combined 75 points. And a lot of those points were on big plays, especially in the Cambridge game.
Yeah, Rocco Zizzo said they wouldn't throw quite as much with this young offensive line to start the season, but as the season went along, he thinks this line just needs more game reps. There you see Maffeo go to the air and couldn't quite hit Suazo, who was streaking down the seam.
So he was open. Suazo had separated himself. Had a step on the cornerback. Another overthrow, this time by Maffeo. Good effort by Suazo, though. Yeah, we know Maffeo has a good arm. Both he and his brother, actually, both have good arms.
Yeah, Zach Maffeo, the twin brother of Luke Maffeo, who we saw last week for O'Brien. Now Latin Academy throwing the screen to Suazo over the middle. But a nice open field tackle there for the Wolfpack. Coming up to make the stop was the senior corner, Raymond Ahern.
Yeah, stopped him short of the first down. Let's see if Latin Academy is going to take a chance here. There's that one-on-one tackle you're talking about. Short, 4th and about 2. Yeah, I think they're going to go for this one.
Yeah, the one thing that's been going for them is their between the tackles ground game. So 4th down and 2 from the 43. They're going to have Maffeo taking on the keeper.
Effort. Oh, yeah.
He's still on his feet up to the 34-yard line. So easily a first down for the Dragons as their drive continues.
Yeah, one of the easiest plays in football. Just have your line shoot out, and Maffeo did a good job of keeping his balance. And another 5 yards. All this running, the clock's really flying by. It's 4:40 to go before halftime.
Now on first down, give it to Crispin. Picks up a yard, maybe 2.
Tell you, in terms of comparison, Pat, we did have Boston Latin last week in the game against O'Brien. This defense is doing a much better job tackling.
Yeah, Coach Butler mentioned this week that, after watching the film, his guys were in position, but missed a lot of tackles. Missed a lot of one-on-one battles.
They are doing a much better job here in the first half.
2nd down and 8 now for Latin Academy. Hand off to Crispin over the left side. Slips one tackler, doesn't slip a second one. Coming across is Will Markey for a big loss on 2nd down.
You see, these defensive plays they're making, this can help to juice up the offense because, like I said before, a lot of these players play both ways. Good job by Markey.
So they mark Crispin down at the 37. So that was a 4-yard loss on the play, with Will Markey making his 4th tackle of the game. So Latin Academy sticking with the ground game so far. 6 different players carrying the football for them in the first half. Maffeo dumps it over to Crispin. He couldn't find him. Whistle hasn't blown yet. Crispin sticks with it. I do believe it was a forward pass, but it was close.
Smart play, though,
both
because
teams
in
should have
case,
stayed with it.
it was a lateral, Crispin made the right play.
Take another look at it. Close. Very close.
Very close.
Very close.
The lineman is responsible for watching the line of scrimmage to see if the pass goes behind the line of scrimmage, which would be a lateral.
4th and 11 now. Latin Academy going to punt the football from the Latin School 37. Brenzel back to receive. Suazo, high spiraling kick. Brenzel calls a fair catch. And downs it at the 15-yard line. So 2:39 left to go here in the second quarter. Still no score. Boston Latin School with one more chance here in the first half to try to put a drive together before halftime. We've seen them move the football down the field. They just haven't been able to punch it in.
And one of the problems they have, Thompson plays both ways, their quarterback, so it wasn't like he could be on the sideline just trying to settle down, take some practice throws, because he's overthrown 2 wide open receivers. One would have been an obvious touchdown.
First down and 10 now for the Wolfpack. They give us to Brenzel, and Yulee makes his way up to the 18-yard line.
That little slant play, you're seeing Boston Latin really mix up their plays, giving different looks on their running game to their Dragon defense. Looks like we got officials checking on one of the Latin Academy players. Thinks he might be shaken up. Yes, well, they convinced him he's okay.
Second and 6 now for the Wolfpack. It's Brenzel again with the carry this time.
Yeah, you can
Latin
see
Academy's all over.
He's really being keyed on. Double team that time. Once he got right to the line of scrimmage, there's no chance at all. There's no movement from the line, and then Merritt. And Zayas on that tackle.
I didn't see who took that timeout that time. I think it might have been Latin School with 1:28 left to go here in the first half. It'll be 3rd down and 6 for the Wolfpack.
Well, the key here is not to have a mistake made on offense. You don't want to have a turnover that's going to possibly give Latin Academy a chance to score before halftime.
I'm sorry, it'll be 3rd down and 3 for Boston Latin.
But that's a big play. I mean, because if you can get a first down here again in high school football, each first down, the clock stops for you, allows you to, if you rush up to the line of scrimmage, and you can get some additional plays off. On the scoreboard, they had Latin Academy is taking that timeout.
So maybe Rocco Ziza is trying to get the ball back here with some time.
They both have 2 left. So
3rd and 3. Thompson going to go to the air again, and this time the ball is deflected at the line. So Latin School will have to punt.
Yeah, tough break, because that time he did try to float the ball, make it a soft pass, but a good job, the defensive end for Latin Academy, getting that big arm up there. Sahajian.
Another punt, high spiraling kick for Latin School, fielded amongst several Latin defenders. Right. That time by Whitmore, and right. He makes his way up to the 45.
So Whitmore has his eyes on this one for a return. Short return, but good job, because you don't want to let that bounce and possibly go way back in your own territory. Give yourself a chance to try to get the ball in the air downfield. See, I didn't expect this at all. I mean, both teams basically have been struggling, have had some struggles defensively, so you think that there'll be some scoring here in the first half. We're down to a minute 15.
Dragons now going with more of a spread formation. They got a bunch formation at the bottom of your screen. Tried Suazo over the middle. They got him. Suazo.
Screen. Yep, got flag down.
Down the left sideline. Suazo is going to go in for a touchdown, but I think we got a pick play.
That's coming back.
Over the middle for Latin Academy.
Yeah.
Bring that one back after the penalty.
That inside screen, a lot of high school teams are using that now. Like you said, they had triple receivers here on the right side. One of those receivers fakes downfield and comes back toward the middle. Right there, you see Suazo, nice catch. And like the way he finished his play off. Now these defenders get tied up, and splits them both, and would be touchdown. I think our referee tonight's camera shy. Doesn't want
to come out and actually announce the play.
Or turn the mic on.
First and 15 now for Latin Academy. Malcolm Crispin tied up after a pickup of 2. I think Latin Academy is just going to go into the locker room. Maybe one more play after this.
They might want to try one more in the air.
Maffeo scrambling to throw the football, but he's going to get wrapped up.
Good job by Boston Latin. Really good job defensively. They were trying to run that same screen, but that time Suazo was not open.
And looks like Latin Academy just called a timeout. No, Boston Latin School called a timeout.
Okay. Interesting. 8.5 seconds to go before halftime.
8.5 seconds left.
I'm not quite sure why Boston Latin School would want to call a timeout. It's only third and
13.
Down,
right. It's going to give Latin Academy a chance to throw the ball downfield. I think the Dragons were content to go into halftime. But
now they'll have another shot here with 8.5 seconds left.
And after the timeout, y'all, your receivers aren't winded anymore. They catch their breath. Oh yeah, I would definitely throw it deep downfield.
Just wondering if Coach Butler is thinking if they get a stop here and maybe call a timeout as soon as the play's over, they'll force Latin Academy to punt, and maybe considering Brenzel's had a couple of good returns, they'll try to maybe break one more.
Again, spread formation, double receivers to the right.
3rd and 25 for Latin Academy. Just going to be Maffeo on the quarterback keeper.
Okay, now if they call a timeout, just like you said, Pat, is the clock, for some reason, the clock started late, so there's still 4.4 seconds.
4.4 seconds left on the half.
Watch, Maffeo was just trying to run this out, but he actually got tackled soon, plus the clock The clock actually did get a slow start.
The official time is kept down on the field. We actually had an issue with the clock last week here at White Stadium in the first half. Second half, much better.
So Latin Academy is going to go into punt formation.
There's a chance there might be more time left here in the half than the scoreboard is indicating.
Okay, punt formation. Brenzel back to receive the punt for Boston Latin.
End over end kick for Sawazo. It's fielded by Brenzel, but he's dropped at the 32-yard line. And that is going to do it for the first half here at White Stadium.
Don't forget this.
So both teams' defense is doing its job. Latin Academy with a goal line stop there on 4th down to prevent Latin School from scoring. Latin School's defense has done a nice job not even allowing Latin Academy to get towards the red zone.
Especially in the second quarter. Second quarter, they really came out loud defensively. Like you said, it's been a struggle. Even though both teams opened the game with their first drives, running the ball, passing the ball, chunking up in yardage, but just couldn't score. So second half, I think that both coaches have got to be happy with the defenses. Right. Offense has got to be a discussion at halftime because some mistakes, a couple of overthrown passes on both sides have prevented from having any score on the board right now.
That's right. Both teams obviously defensively doing very well. Latin School, again, going into half. They're going to be kicking themselves.
They've got to feel good. I really think about it. You give up 75 points in your first 2 games.
That's true.
Right? Okay, a half against an offensive team coming off a big win from last week, and you've held them scoreless.
That's right. Meanwhile, offensively, could have had 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's you're going to be kicking yourself.
No way.
4th down with the ball, basically at the goal line. You have a mishandling of the handoff, and then you had a wide open receiver down the sideline.
You never see that's like a Pop Warner play where you just miss a play and you have a wide receiver so open. There's nowhere near him.
So certainly they'll be kicking themselves going into the half there. But our sideline reporter Leverett Ball is down in the field with one of the coaches. So Leverett, take it away.
Thanks, guys. So, Coach, first off, you head into the half with the score tied up at 0. How do you feel about your team's performance so far?
We're playing tough defense. We had an opportunity to run the ball a little bit, made a couple of mistakes. Failure to execute on several situations. We shot ourselves in the foot a couple times, but it's an even game, and that's probably the way it should be right now. So.
And it appeared at the end of the half as though your team had a touchdown that was called back. What explanation, if any, were you given as to why the touchdown was called back?
No, it was a screen pass, and the receiver was over the line of scrimmage when he caught it. So it was an ineligible receiver.
And
illegal men downfield because he caught the ball over the line of scrimmage. Yeah.
And finally, what adjustments does the team need to make offensively just to put some points on the board and pick up this win?
We have to be physical at the point of attack, right? That's the most important thing, and make sure we know who we're blocking.
Well, Coach, thank you for your time. Good luck in the second half. Back to you.
Thanks very much, Leverett. And Coach Ziza got to be happy with his defense. Offensively, certainly disappointing.
Like you said, some mistakes.
Some of the mistakes, some of the penalties certainly hurt them. So.
Well, that's good that Rocco knew what happened because and that's the right call. The similar screen pass that we've seen Latin Academy use a couple of times in that first half. A couple of offensive linemen got a little over anxious, went downfield too soon, and the ball was caught past the line of scrimmage, which makes it ineligible receivers downfield, those linemen. Whereas most screen passes are caught behind the line of scrimmage, which allow those guys to go down, and then you have no problem. But it's something you can clean up.
No question. We'll probably see both those teams trying to clean that up during the halftime right here at White Stadium. Now, we've talked a lot about Latin School and their atmosphere and how much a lot of different organizations are involved with their football program and their athletics program is overall. But one of the biggest programs that's made a huge impact so far has been Anna's Pals, started by the Jerome family, who's had their own students and their own kids at Boston Latin School. So we're going to take a look at that story right now.
No one likes to stay at the hospital.
especially young children. But thanks to Anna's pals, stays for families at Boston Children's Hospital are made a little easier.
So Anna's Pal tries to make the stay at Children's Hospital more comfortable for the kids and for the families. So they'll help with parking costs for families coming to visit.
We bring pillows and sheets and blankets and toys and games and activities and other fun things for the kids to do while they're in the hospital.
It really helps support everyone through the process and try to make it go as well as it possibly can.
Anna's Pals is a nonprofit organization founded by the family and friends of Anna Jerome, a former student athlete at Boston Latin.
She loved the school. She loved everything it had to offer. She was on the swim team, she was on the track team, she excelled in academics, math being her favorite subject. She just loved everything.
She was definitely very bubbly and always happy, and she could always cheer anybody up no matter what was going on. She was the right person. She knew what to say to everybody at the right time.
At the young age of 14, Anna was diagnosed with AML, an aggressive form of leukemia. After her diagnosis, she began treatments at Children's Hospital.
She gave herself one day to cry about it, and she just said, all right, now we're just going to do this. We're going to do what they tell us so we can get out of here.
Friends and family all pitched in when Anna was being treated, including her Boston Latin School classmate and twin brother, Will, who was a football player for the Boston Latin Wolfpack.
Her guidance counselor, Miss Wong, made sure that Will was in all the same classes as Anna, so his coach would let him be late for practice. He'd leave school, run to Children's, which was across the street, give her homework and her assignments, and bolt back to practice.
But while her kind spirit never wavered, the aggressive leukemia took its toll. On October 2nd, 2014, Anna Jerome passed away at Boston Children's Hospital.
Obviously, after that happens with someone, everybody wants to do something, and we were trying to put our heads together, what can we do?
Right after she passed away, her best friend Maggie came over with just an orange t-shirt and said Anna's Pals on it, and that was just kind of the beginning of it all. We were just like, oh, this is what we're going to do. We're going to make a better situation out of what we were dealt.
You know, Anna's Pals just kind of came in, it gave us all a focus. So instead of wandering around aimlessly, it just gave us all some way to focus on something and to be positive about the experience instead of, moping around about Anna. Put her name to good use and think positively of her and share with others how great she was.
Along with Anna's friends and family, Boston Latin School pitched in to help develop their newly formed nonprofit organization.
We just figured that this was the cause that we wanted to rally around. We've done some Coaches versus Cancer things. We've raised money for a variety of nonprofits, a variety of causes, but this one's so close to home that we wanted to hitch our wagons to this one. Girls basketball, girls volleyball, boys and girls lacrosse, you name it, that raised money for Anna's Pals consistently throughout the year, whether it's gate receipts from a game or certain fundraisers that they run, food sales during games.
But perhaps the biggest assist to Anna's Pals came from the Boston Latin football team, who were a natural fit to help the newly found organization.
My first year, Will was a senior captain, and one of the things I had said to the team is we're going to look for some community work and find a charity to be involved with, and that was just a natural fit.
The partnership between Anna's Pals and the Boston Latin football program has gone on to become a huge success. The football team's different drives and fundraisers have helped the nonprofit expand their reach of helping patients at Boston Children's Hospital. And the Wolfpack have learned life lessons that reach far beyond the high school football field.
The first year with Will there, we had maybe 5-6 boxes full of candy, so we couldn't lift them up. And then later that year, we did a video game drive, and we collected the games, and then they went and they sold all the games to EB or whatever the name, GameSpot, whatever it is nowadays. And they got a gift card, so then they could buy the game that they wanted to fit the system for the kids that are at stay at Children's.
There's teenagers in Children's, and they have, little kid games. So unfortunately, I brought Call of Duty and those kinds of games for those kids because the older kids wanted to play them and they didn't have them. So that was nice to have that.
It doesn't take a lot from you to really give to someone else and to make someone else's day a little bit better, And I hope they learn that as one of the lessons as we try to build their character and build their sense of community.
In addition to making an impact in the lives of Children's Hospital patients, Boston Latin's football program's participation also made an impact on one of their own.
I didn't realize how kind of much it meant to Will, and I think neither did his mom until Danny V did an article on him, and it was the first time I guess he really talked about it. And so it was, it meant a lot to his family to hear, wow, we're really hearing his feelings. And it meant a lot to me and us as a coaching staff to see that we could help facilitate this for you, Will, and to have you come to terms as best you can with all this and have a positive outlet for dealing with your loss.
His teammates and the football team really helped Will cope with everything that happened, and his teammates were, he couldn't be home with us, we were too hard for him to deal with, but his football teammates were really what kept him going and gave him some focus.
Now, almost 4 years after Anna's Pals' conception, the nonprofit organization has continued to evolve. Along with its steadfast support of the families at Boston Children's, Anna's Pals has their sights set on a new project that will impact the children they serve for years to come.
Their long-term goal is to raise enough money to form this beach house, to construct from the ground up, basically an immune-safe beach house for these kids with bad respiratory systems, cancer, all those sort of things.
You can't use a public bathroom because of the chemo wipes out your immune system, so you can't be around anything that's not specifically cleaned and designed for the safety of these kids. So Anna's Pals would like to build a beach house for these kids so they can have a place to go, so these families can regroup and revisit each other and really have some quality time together.
So we want to have a beach house that everyone can go to and the families can spend quality time together and make some good memories. It'll really just be great for all the kids and for the community. I feel like everyone will just feel really bound together, and it will feel really great to put our name to good use and not just like say, oh yeah, this, like my sister passed away, but be like, no, we have this whole organization that helps so many kids that were like her.
They have an Anna's Pals, very special organization in the hearts of a lot of Boston Latin School students and the Boston Latin School community. The Jerome family's done a great job with that. All of Anna's friends have done a great job with it. And much like, MR8 and Pete Frady's charity and Cafe Martin from John Martin, who was a videographer for Nesson, who passed away of ALS. A lot of these local folks here in Boston have started all these great charity organizations.
It's not small and they grow.
It's amazing how much all these organizations have grown, and Anna's Pals is going to do the same thing. Folks, we'll take a look at the halftime stats now here at White Stadium, and first up, I think it's going to be the Boston Latin stats.
You see Latin, as we expected, a lot of rushing. There's 27 yards for Brenzel and 10 carries. Thompson, the quarterback, has 27 yards and only 3 carries. Had that one big run for over 20 yards on their very first drive that put them in scoring position. Receiving, Marcy has a couple of catches for 13 yards. Harris has 1 catch for 9 yards. We're going to see both those guys targeted a lot in the second half. Then, of course, passing, Thompson's 3 for 8. And, boy, he really wishes he had one of those back.
That's right.
The one where he had Marcy wide open.
Let's take a look at the Latin Academy halftime stats.
Latin Academy, similar. Merrick, the big running back, the junior, 6'2", 190 pounds. He's toughed out 35 yards, 4 carries. Crispin, 7 carries with 22 yards. Receiving, Suazo has that 1 catch for 8 yards. And then passing, Maffei, I'm really surprised he's only thrown 4 passes, but completed 1 for the 8 yards to Suazo.
So Latin Academy Dragons not going to the air too much, but they are going to the ground. Robert Merrick with 35 yards in the first half. Here are some highlights.
Well, like I said, he's 6'2", 190 pounds. Good running style, and doesn't mind being in between tackles. That's his best run of the half right there. And you see him, takes care of the football. He was actually having a good season last year, but then the last couple of games he didn't play at all. I appreciate him. He missed some practices or something, but something was going on, and he missed the last couple of games, but he's definitely ready to go this season.
No question. You saw him there in the first half. Grounded and pounded for this Latin Academy Dragons football team. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have the opening kickoff of the second half here at White Stadium between the Boston Latin Wolfpack and the Latin Academy Dragons. Right after these messages. Don't go away.
Green hat, red hat, oops. Red shirt, blue shirt, yellow shirt, oops. Yellow pants, red pants, green pants, oops.
We just finished dinner and it was time for homework.
He hates homework.
It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as I
harder.
can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Welcome back to White Stadium in Jamaica Plain for the start of the second half here between Latin Academy and the Boston Latin Wolfpack.
Boys are filled up with White Stadium. This must be the biggest crowd we've had.
Biggest crowd we've had in a long time.
We've been doing White Stadium. Both sides, too. So
right now, Latin Academy is ready to receive the kickoff. Meanwhile, Latin School is still
stretching.
going through calisthenics. Suazo's ready to go.
I know. This is sort of comical. So now Latin Academy, they're going to rehuddle.
They're going to do some aerobics
take a
here in
little
the
jog. There you
halftime.
go.
You know what? I don't see any of the referees. I think they're still waiting for the referees to come back out.
There you go. A little mix-up on how much time for halftime is.
This could be a byproduct of those federation rules that the MIA switched over to this season.
You're absolutely right, because the time for each quarter is now changed.
Yeah, it's now 12 minutes a quarter when it's normally 11.
I think you're onto something. That would make the halftime a little longer.
Looks like the refs are heading out now. See how long it takes to get going here. So the federation rules, most high schools across the country do use the federation rules, but Massachusetts and a few of the other states had hung on to the NCAA rules, and recently the MIA switched over to the federation rules. Not a lot of coaches and refs are happy about it. It is slightly different on a lot of different angles of football, and with these new federation rules, a lot of the referees in high school here in Massachusetts also referee Division III college and Division II college games, and now it's going to be much tougher for them on Friday night to work with one set of rules, and then on Saturday afternoon to work with a different set of rules. So it's a really tough transition for both the teams and the referees.
I mean, a couple of obvious.
There's some mixed reviews about this change.
Couple of obvious changes. Just 3 timeouts per half, whereas for years Boston teams had 5 timeouts each half.
That's right.
And of course the minute. They add another minute to each quarter. So slightly longer game. Which, depending on how your team's going, how your season's going, is going to be good or bad for each individual head coach.
Boston Latin School players are going to be tired just from stretching out.
I'm telling you, they're slowed down a bit already.
Looking at the sideline, like, you still got to do this, guys? Well, as we're waiting, folks, we'll take a look at our upcoming game next week. We're on Boston City TV next week, Friday, September 27th at 4 o'clock. So it's going to be an earlier afternoon game next week. Tech Boston will be visiting O'Brien. We saw O'Brien last week, and this time it'll be at their home turf over in Roxbury at O'Brien High School, 4 p.m. You can tune in live on Boston City TV. That's Comcast Channel 24, RCN Channel 13, and Verizon Channel 1962. You can also check us out on YouTube on Boston City TV. We got a live stream up there as well, so you can watch us live on your mobile device if you want to watch it on YouTube.
Looks like we're finally ready.
Well, it hasn't been a question of we. It's been a question of the refs.
I guess they're giving the large crowd a chance to get back from concession stands.
Sure.
This is the biggest crowd I can remember here. I mean, we had a couple of really huge Thanksgiving Day crowds.
That's right.
A few years ago, but this, yeah.
Because we have a lot of Latin Academy folks on the far side. That's usually the far side is the least populated side of the stadium, but you see at the top of your screen there's a lot of folks in the bleachers on the far side as well.
I think the city's athletic director Avery might be onto something with this I guess.
This exam school rivalry.
Exactly, exam school rivalry.
Back to receive, Zakai Whitmore.
Malcolm Crispin and Takai Whitmore back to receive for Latin Academy. Daddish sets a kick. Short. Kick that time. That Suazo returns up to the 44-yard line.
Well, Suazo was maybe like one arm tackle away from really getting some open space near midfield.
Yeah, there was a little crease there for Suazo. About a 10-yard return there for Suazo up to the 44-yard line. That's where Latin Academy will have their first possession of the second half.
Well, the first half was all defense on both sides, and now let's see if the second half can be all offense. I know Latin Academy really, it's like Rocco Zisa was saying at halftime, he's a little disappointed with some of the plays they missed. They had one touchdown that was called back.
On first down, we had some early movement. Yeah, Latin School came across, so I'm not sure if they made contact. Looks like they did.
Defense over here.
Yeah, Latin defense played well that first half. So I think, and we talked before the game, Pat, about how the players would be feeling about a slow start. And on the Boston Latin side, 2 losses and a lot of injured players. But even though they still have injured players, they did put together a very good defensive second quarter. Well, the whole half, because the Academy didn't score. But I think that now they're a little over anxious the season, and they're going to be offside again. This is and it's like in the first half. Apparently, they were guessing. They must have been guessing on the snap count.
First down.
At that time, as Leonardo came across.
So that's a first down on 2 penalties in a row there for the Wolfpack.
And that's not the way you want to start on defense, obviously. Just giving away yardage.
First 2 penalties gone against Boston Latin so far in this game. They come here at the first possession of the third quarter as Maffeo then takes it himself on first down for a quarterback sneak that picks up 3 up to the 42-yard line.
Simple quarterback keeper, trying to use a quick count and get an advantage. Actually, a nice little pile up there.
Second and 7 now for the Dragons. A handoff to Merrick, and he's tripped up in the backfield, picks up 2 on the play. Coming across for the tackle that time for Boston Latin was Anthony Philemon.
Yeah, Anthony, one of the linebackers. Got low, good job. Go to the legs. Creates a third and about 4. Well, in terms of a week's difference, last week we saw Bryant do some things to this Boston Latin defense, and the week clearly did some improvement with the defense. So see if they can keep it up. The other thing last week, we saw the Latin defense wear down in the fourth quarter. They got tired and gave up some big plays.
3rd and 4 now for the Dragons. They pitch it to Suazo again. He finds a seam past the 35-yard line up to the 34. That'll be a first down for Latin Academy.
Suazo's like an all-purpose guy. We've seen him go out and pass patterns. You saw the inside screen this time. It's sort of a reverse pitch. Good job being patient enough to allow his teammates to give him enough room to get the first down. You watch him. He's being patient right there. He knows how much he has to get for the first down.
Got 21 rushing yards so far in this game. Now the handoff to Crispin, who gets chopped down just past the line of scrimmage, and they'll mark him down at the 32.
Crispin was flying, so Maffeo did a good job to get that handoff to him. Right there, you see Crispin's at full speed as soon as he gets the football. I mean, this Latin Academy team clearly is anxious to score. They want to make up for that one that was called back in the screen pass.
3-yard pickup on first down. 2nd down and 7 now for the Dragons. And it's Maffeo on the keeper again. Picks up a couple.
They're seeing something in the interior of Boston Latin's defensive line, because that's the second time this series they've called a simple quarterback keeper.
And Mark Maffeo down at the 28-yard line.
Well, Maffeo's decent size. He's 5'11", about 180.
3rd and 4 now for Latin Academy. Crispin again, the deep back. Handoff to Crispin, and he rolls forward to the 26.
Less than a yard short. If they mark it, they're going to mark it at 20. Yep, you're right. 26 will be
about 2 yards short.
Yeah, he got tripped up. Four down territory, obviously. You see him get tripped up in the backfield and just sort of spun to get any yardage. That quarterback keeper has been what they use in the 4th down situation in the first half. Yeah, there you go.
This time, Maffeo does get up to the 23.5 yard line, so I think he just got the first down. As the Wolfpack tried to clog the middle there.
It's funny, sometimes you always hear about receivers who come back to the quarterback and say, "Get this guy beat, get this guy beat." Sometimes you have a situation where a lineman will say, "Look, I can angle off my guy and give you some space." Because they've used that quarterback keeper like 4 times already.
That's right,
and
just in this drive.
Yeah. So it's, I think we might be seeing a little bit of that, and Boston Latin's going to have to make some kind of adjustment on that defensive side.
Got Williams back in there, the big 6'2 receiver, now at the bottom of your screen on the outside. Suazo in the slot, Whitmore at the top of your screen. Merrick the deep back, the handoff to Merrick. And he picks up a couple as he makes his way up to the 21-yard line.
We've known Rocco Zizza, the head coach for Latin Academy, for a number of years. I think this is his 12th year here as head coach. He loves this drive. This is, I mean, you don't have to throw the ball. Just pound it in there. He's using different running backs as well as the quarterback. You got the big kid Merrick is the deep eye in the back, in the eye rather, deep back in the eye. So, and another free 5 yards. I tell you, this is this.
I think Latin School too. They're getting pushed around a little bit up front. So now they're anxious to try to get the first jump.
That's exactly what's happening. Now they just made a 2nd and 8 into a 2nd and 3. This is what you call really shooting yourself in the foot.
2nd down and 3 now for Latin Academy. And they hand off to Merrick, and good open field tackle there as he's chopped down at the 14-yard line. So it'll be a half-yard short. So it'll be 3rd and a short 1. This will be the 9th play of the drive coming up for Latin Academy as they try to convert a 3rd and short here from the Boston Latin 14-yard line.
Guess what? More Maffeo.
Well, they go with Merrick. And he finds a crease.
You got a nice hole. He got a nice hole.
He rumbles his way up to the 8-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal, Latin Academy.
They'll change up. Got a good block from his teammate, Rafael Cruz. Allowed him to cut back inside to get that first down. They're getting a lot of mileage out of this I formation.
1st and goal now for the Dragons from the 7-yard line. Handoff to Merrick. And he's wrapped up close to the line of scrimmage. Might have picked up a yard or two up to the 6 on 1st down. 2nd and goal now for the Dragons.
They seem to like attacking that right side of the Boston Latin defense. You see a linebacker comes across, a little bit of overran the play. Danny Dang overran the play a little bit, but was involved in the tackle.
Clock continues to wind down. 4 minutes left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Latin Academy's had the football the entire time. They pitch it to Suazo. Suazo shakes off a tackler, shakes off 2 more, then is dropped right around the 4-yard line. Good form tackle by Philemon.
Well, we saw Boston Latin get this close in the very first drive of the game. They couldn't score. Let's see, there's the all-purpose guy again, Suazo. Good job for Philemon to not only make the tackle, but also stop any kind of forward progress. Now, Boston Latin's going to take a timeout on defense. First to catch their breath, but also to get some coaching in terms of what to look for, because at this point for Latin Academy, it doesn't seem like they want to really be tricky. It's basic football in between the tackles, either the quarterback or the big running back Merrick. So I think Ray Butler, even though you only get 3 for the half, he wants to use one here because he probably feels like it's really important. If we can get a stop, there'll be a huge emotional lift. Let's see if there's any change on the Latin Academy side. Yeah, the whole team huddling on the sideline.
So right now they have the down marker at, okay, they fixed it to 3rd down. It should be 3rd and goal.
Should be 3rd and goal, right.
So just about set to go here. 3rd and goal for Latin Academy. Merrick, the deep back for the Dragons. The handoff to Merrick, close to the end zone. Did he get in? No signal yet. Yes, he did. Robert Merrick punches it through for Latin Academy.
Well, like I said, basic football. Merrick, second back through. Use that length of his. He's 6'2". Use all that length to dive into the end zone. And Latin Academy is actually going to try an extra point. They'll try a kick.
So Dragons finally punch through. They get on the scoreboard first here with 3:14 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Sullivan on for the PAT, and he boots it through. So Latin Academy finally able to score here in the 3rd quarter on a long drive all the way down that end of the field. Controlling the clock the entire time. Almost a 9-minute drive there for Latin Academy.
Right. And that's exactly what Latin Academy's sideline wants to see.
Well, we get set for the kickoff for Latin Academy. Boston Latin quarterback, who once again wasn't able to play tonight, Matt Sussick, is down on the field with our sideline reporter, Leverett Ball. Leverett?
Thanks, guys. So I'm joined now by Boston Latin quarterback Matt Sussick. Now, Matt, I know you weren't able to suit up tonight due to injury, but with Roy Thompson starting in your place, what type of advice did you have for him coming into this matchup?
You know, I basically just told him to relax. I mean, he's a great quarterback. He knows what he's doing, and we really believe in Roy, and he's going to come out here, have a great second half, and we're going to win this football game.
And my last question, I know you're obviously a team captain this year. How much does it mean for you to be able to be on the sideline with your teammates, even while you're injured?
Oh, it means a ton, man. This is my last season playing football at BLS, and I love my guys, I love my teammates, and it means the world to me.
Well, Matt, thank you for your time. We wish you a speedy recovery.
Thank you very much.
Back to you.
Thanks very much, Leverett. As Markey turns the corner, we got a flag on the play. This is going to be coming back.
There's a block in the back. Right around the 25-yard line, there's a block in the back.
In the back. Number one.
An exciting play by Markey, though.
About 100 miles away. The ball is past me. It's a stupid.
Let's watch, see if we can see it. I'm not sure. I think it might have been behind Markey after he had. Yeah, right there. Too bad. Leonardo didn't need to do that because Markey had already passed him.
So there's a block in the back. No signal yet from the head. Here we go.
Yeah, there'll be a block in the back. Man. Leonardo, you cut it on the replay. Watch left of your screen. You'll see number 1, right there.
Right
That's
there.
it. Yep.
So what would have been a 24-yard return there for Boston Latin School pushes them back to about the 15-yard line. Brenzel with the handoff on first down, makes his way up to the 21.
I'm telling you, Pat, I can't get over this crowd. I mean, this well, it's Friday Night Lights comes to the Northeast, right?
That's right. It's a great turnout. Also helps that it was a beautiful day today, mid-70s.
Friday.
Friday.
So it turns into a semi-social event, right? Now you have 2 co-ed schools. So that's...
Always helps. Both teams have good cheerleading squads as well. So you got friends of football players and cheerleaders here. As they get it to Markey here on second down, but he's tripped up right around the 22-yard line.
The Boston Latin uses the wide receiver screen as opposed to the inside running screen that Latin Academy uses. That one, a little high, but that didn't give Markey much of a chance to try to turn and run.
Malcolm Crispin with a nice tackle there for Latin Academy.
It's a big third down for Boston Latin because they don't want to give the ball right back up.
It's 3rd and 2 here for Boston Latin. They got to get up to the 26-yard line for a first down.
Well, Markey has it.
They give it to Brenzel. He dodges one tackle and then is dragged down at the 24. He's going to be well short.
Yeah, he's going to be short. You know, what you mentioned in the first half, Pat, I'm looking at the wide receiver set. The slot receiver for Boston Latin had like a 12-yard cushion. I'll tell you, Latin's got to punt this. They can't afford to give the ball. If they don't make this, they can't afford to get the ball up inside their 30-yard line.
Yeah, you can't take a chance. It's a one-score game.
Yeah.
It's the right move from Ray Butler.
Yeah, they're getting close to a delay of game, too.
Spiraling kick for Latin School that bounces around Latin Academy. It's going to roll back to the 45-yard line. So about a 30-yard punt there for Boston Latin. Latin Academy will take over at their own 45 here with 32 seconds left to go in the third quarter.
Before the game, we got visited by one of the parents, right? He had an unusual mix. He a son on the Boston Latin team.
We had a son on the
and
Boston
a daughter
Latin team.
On the Latin Academy
cheerleading squad.
Right. So, was he sitting in the end zone? Midway?
Well, I just saw a parent that I know who has a son on the Latin school team and a son on the Latin Academy team. So she was on the Latin Academy side in the first half. Now she's on the Latin school side in the second half. Her Latin school son hasn't gotten enough practices in yet, so he's not suited up just yet. Whitmore on the sweep, showing off the speed that Coach Ziza was talking about. Picking up a first down there for the Dragons.
Yeah, Philemon had to run him down. Watch 53 right at your screen.
This one's coming back.
You'll see him finally get to him, but that's the speed that Whitmore has. Quick first down. Well, we talked about offense for the second half, and this is only Latin Academy's second possession, but the first possession was the touchdown after a 9-minute grinded-out drive.
They're calling this one back. It was a hold on Latin Academy. Took the referees half a quarter to figure it out.
It's
holding number 19.
Actually, they're calling it on Merrick.
See if we get the hold from Merrick on the replay.
Okay, now Merrick.
It's on the outside there at the bottom.
Yeah, I don't know.
A little bit of jersey, but they usually let blockers grab a little jersey on the inside.
As long as but it's not. It didn't seem to impede the defender. That's what Rocco's saying.
It must have been a different player because it looked like the flag had come on the other side of the field, or closer to the line of scrimmage.
But nonetheless, it was a well-executed play by the Dragons, and so unlike the first half, now they're really putting some things together on offense. You get a frustrated Rocco Cisa. He actually wants to talk to the official.
It probably was Merrick. Now that we think about it, it was a 10-yard penalty, and I think they did it from the spot of the foul.
Right? Okay.
So that's why it's only
I think you're right.
net of 7, as you see
Merrick's
about 3 yards.
Yep.
Yeah, but right there.
Okay.
So that's what they did call. Not much there on that hold.
Rocco took a timeout to really
cool off.
give the linesman a piece of his mind. I mean, he hasn't talked to a player yet. They're in a timeout. But again, I think the key is Boston Latin's guts are really get strong right now because it's only a 1-score game, but it could be 2 real quick.
Folks, you want to follow us on social media, you can go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/GameOfTheWeekBoston. A lot of good stuff up on that site. You can also follow us on Twitter @BostonCityTV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. So obviously a huge penalty there for Latin Academy. It wipes out the play. Also backs them up another 7. Now they're in their own territory at the 38. So now Latin School be huge if they could come up with a 3 and out here.
And I think during that timeout, that's probably the message Ray Butler told his defense. Listen, guys, now we have a chance to get a stop and get the football back. Because the way Latin Academy ground out that first 9 minutes of the third quarter, you may only have a couple more chances with the football.
10-play, 8 minutes and 46-second drive that resulted in a touchdown the last time Latin Academy had the football to start the third quarter. Now with 24 seconds left in the quarter, they hand it off to Crispin, who tries to get to the edge, and he fights his way forward up to the 42-yard line.
Crispin, he's been running hard all night. You see, able to get around the defensive ends. Linebackers fill in and keep them to a short game. It's going to be the end of the third quarter.
And that's the end of the third quarter.
So that's going to do it for 3 quarters here at White Stadium. Latin Academy punching through with a touchdown by Robert Merrick. So they get on the board, and they're up 7-0. We'll see if the Latin Academy Wolfpack, Boston Latin Wolfpack, can put another score on the board here in the fourth quarter, here at Game of the Week.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Green hat. Red hat. Oops. Red shirt. Blue shirt. Yellow shirt. Oops. Yellow pants. Red pants. Green pants. Oops.
Welcome back to White Stadium in Jamaica Plain for Game of the Week as two exam schools once again going at it here this Friday night as Latin Academy is leading Boston Latin School 7-0. We're just about set to start the fourth quarter.
To me, totally unexpected. I mean, both these teams, you had Latin Academy gave up 50 points in their first game of the season against Randolph, and they were able to bounce back and get a nice win last week in a low-scoring game against Tech Boston. But Boston Latin School coming into the game with 2 losses, giving up a lot of points in both those games. So give Latin and Purple credit for their defense today so far.
Maffeo going deep down the right side. What a catch
Suazo.
from Suazo. Coming down with it at the 30.
That was a nice play, you're right. He actually slowed down to put himself in position to make the catch. Watch him slow down, nice catch, has the cornerback all over him.
38-yard pass connection. Here's one more look at it.
Well thrown ball. Now, why is Latin? Is there a penalty? Yeah, we do have a penalty on Latin Academy. Looks like unsportsmanlike conduct. Must have been after the play.
Did they give that to Suazo?
Very well made.
The fist pump?
Yeah, it was after the play. So it's, yeah.
If that's on,
I'm telling you,
unless Suazo did something else or said something, because if that's on that fist pump, that's outrageous.
Well, it's could be somebody from the sideline. Oh, he spiked the ball.
You know what? I think because he did it at the defender.
Yeah.
That's why they called it.
Wow. Well, so what did they do? Cut that in half? Cut the play in half, pretty much.
By the letter of the law, I guess that is a penalty. It's just, I don't know. Merrick with a nice carry here on first down, finds the edge and makes his way up to the 30-yard line.
And it's right in front of that big crowd from Latin Academy. Opposite side of the field from us. Good running room by Merrick. Now, last week, Pat, we saw this Boston Latin defense wear down a bit against O'Brien. But that third quarter was so short, it made, hopefully, fatigue will not be an issue. But this is a one-score game.
2nd and inches now for the Dragons. A handoff to Merrick once again, and he pounds his way forward up to the 32.
You see Merrick, like I said, that using all that 190 pounds of his. He's actually on his way. He can have a really nice season. As a junior.
12 rushes, 77 yards this evening. They go to him once again. This time he is dropped at the line of scrimmage. Big 74.
One of the few times we
for
see
Boston Latin, Arthur Macedo coming across.
Yeah, Arthur was right on top of that one. Watch 74. Yeah, he shed his block as soon as the ball was snapped.
That was an angry tackle by Macedo.
It
He's saying,
was.
We don't need any more of this. So 2nd down and 10 now for Latin Academy from the Boston Latin 33.
One of the few times that we've seen Merrick held to nothing.
Seven to nothing lead for Latin Academy. Still plenty of time left, but Latin Academy going with this ground game that we saw chew up almost 9 minutes in the 3rd quarter. They pitch it over the left side of Suazo. He gets tripped up in the backfield.
Yeah, he tripped over his own guy. Might have been. He made a cut right behind his blocker. May have just slipped himself.
They mark him down at the 36, so that'll be a 3-yard loss.
No, yeah, he's tripped over his teammate. So now 3rd and long, 3rd and 13. And again, Boston Latin in their purple. That defense needs to come up with a stop. I mean, this is 4-down territory anyway because they're inside the 40-yard line. But we saw Latin Academy punt before when they were in Latin territory. Passing formation, 3 receivers wide side of the field.
Maffeo looking over the middle. Pass is incomplete.
Okay, good pressure. The pass was forced, threw it long before he wanted to. I think that was Harris. Defensively, yeah, DeAndre Harris. Watch him. He's 16, putting the pressure on Maffeo, forced him to throw the ball much earlier than he wanted to. And he had to throw it off balance, running to his right.
Yeah, pass was intended for Williams.
So 4th and 13. It's interesting. We talked about Harris before the game. On the offensive side, he's actually had a better game defensively. I think he's only had one catch so far.
That's right.
In the game.
Yeah, that catch early in the first quarter.
But he's done some good work on that defensive end position.
Yeah, 6 tackles tonight for Harris.
And
we got a penalty on the play as maybe breaking the huddle with 12 men.
5 yards. 5.
Well, we know it was a 5-yard penalty.
Back here.
Procedure.
I don't know why. Makes no sense to do something like that. I don't know.
All right, so procedure penalty will back the Dragons up 5 yards. Now, the punts for Latin Academy all night have been high in the air, good coverage. So sort of risky if Boston Latin actually wants to try for a return.
Suazo this time with an end-over-end kick that will roll into the end zone this time. So Latin Academy will get it back with 8:19, make that 8:17 left to go here in the 4th quarter. They'll have it at the their own 20-yard line.
Well, let's see what Thompson can do. Renzel. We just talked about Harris from the wide receiver spot. The weapons are out there. And like you noticed first in the first quarter, this defensive backfield for Latin Academy is giving a huge cushion to all these receivers. Merrick, there he is. He has like a 9-10 yard cushion right now. Let's see if plays being called from the sideline from Coach Butler.
Now on 1st down, it's Thompson going to take it himself, and he's wrapped up at the line of scrimmage.
They're using
like Avon coming up with the tackle that time.
They're using the spread formation, but it's not really spreading out the defenders, like you mentioned, Avon, he did a good job. He had his eye on the quarterback the whole time. Just looks like the slot back, Machi, could slant and be wide open. There's no safety in the center of the field.
Going to throw it to Marchi, and it's intercepted. Picked off that time for Latin Academy by Rafael Cruz. And he returns it inside the 20 to about the 17-yard line.
I tell you, beautiful timing on Cruz. And I like seeing a player like that get a big play because he's been the blocking fullback on offense the entire game. Perfect timing to break down and tack on a 15-yard return. So the way this game is gone, even though there's 7:23 to go, if Latin Academy punches one in here, that might be a wrap. Yeah, I mentioned Cruz. We talked about the running back, Merrick, for Latin Academy, but Cruz on most of Merrick's runs has been the lead blocker, including the touchdown run.
There's one more look at it down on
really
the field.
Really good timing by Cruz.
Yeah, made a nice read on that interception. So Latin Academy with the football back now at the Latin 17-yard line. The handoff to, or pitch it to Crispin rather. Malcolm Crispin with a solid gain there on first down.
They've been running the entire second half effectively because they've mixed up their plays. Good job by Crispin. Gets what he can, then protects the football.
Gets to the 13-yard line, so a 4-yard pickup on first down for Malcolm Crispin.
Those plays look like they're getting more because the pitch is so deep in the backfield.
Second down, they go to Crispin on the other side. He cuts it back up
Fumble
the middle,
the
lost the
football.
football. Latin Academy did recover.
On the hit, he lost the football, and watch, you see left of your screen. As he gets hit, there's a ball, goes away, and a couple of Latin players just couldn't react quick enough. But it does bring up a third down and long. This clock is flying by. You're down to 6 minutes.
Yeah, it's been 6 minutes gone by here in the fourth quarter.
Well, you talk about big stops defensively. That's been the case pretty much all night.
Latin Academy will have two chances at trying to pick up a first down here. Now 3rd and 11. Suazo is the man in motion, and Maffeo going to the air, thrown over the middle, almost picked off by Ahern.
Good defense, though. Good defensive play. But you're right, Pat. Had the ball in his, I think he had both hands on it. You see Maffeo, look at a broken play. But Ahern did a good job of getting in front of the receiver to prevent the catch. So the way Maffeo's looking around, seems like he was expecting something else to happen. So 4th and 11, yeah. We'll watch the rush by Harris. He's been putting on the main pressure in that defensive end position, number 16.
Bunch formation again to the top of your screen. It's Whitmore, Williams, and Suazo. Malcolm Crispin at the bottom. Maffeo.
Harris.
He's wrapped up in the backfield. DeAndre Harris coming up with the sack. Philemon in there as well.
See, Harris made him step up, and then Philemon wrapped him up. Also, the big kid, 74. What's that?
Macedo again.
We call his name again. So watch Harris right there, 16. He makes Maffeo have to pull the ball down. That allows his teammates to get the sack and give the ball to the offense.
Exactly what the Wolfpack needed right there. So they get the ball back at the 27-yard line.
Wouldn't be surprised if Harris has gone to Thompson and said, I'm ready now. I'm ready.
Feeling good now.
Really good rush by Harris.
Close to a face mask there. So 1st and 10 now for the Wolfpack. 5:28 left to go here in the fourth quarter. They find Markey, but he is wrapped up for a loss right around the 25-yard line. They're going to mark him down at the 27. No gain on the play.
Again, Thompson just going straight out to Markey. Crispin closed that gap very quickly. We were talking about the amount of space that they're giving Markey, but on that time, by the time the ball got there, Crispin had already closed the gap. Now they have a linebacker in front of Markey.
On 2nd down, it's Brenzel who makes a nice cut and finds his way up to the 35-yard line.
It's a good run for a 2nd down play.
It's really the first time we've seen Brenzel have any type of daylight there in the middle of the field.
That's going to create a 3rd and very makeable, 2 yards?
3rd and 2.
Yeah. I see some more Brenzel. There he is.
Go to Brenzel again. He's
very close. Very, very close.
I think they're going to mark him down short.
Yeah, it totally
Looks
depends
like
on the mark. The lineman has to come in and mark this down.
They're going to spot him at the 38, or just short of the 38. Nice. I think they're going to give it to him.
That's a nice dive at the end by Brenzel. Good effort. Get that 1st down. Ooh, football goes through his hands.
Wayward snap there for Thompson as...
Uh-oh, there's a 15-yard penalty. Wow. Okay, so Thompson got up, but he can't get up because both knees were down when he recovered the football.
The
defender
blew the whistle dead.
The defender from Latin Academy grabbed him and actually swung him to the ground. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty against Latin Academy.
Go ahead.
There was 4 minutes left.
Dead ball foul, personal foul, roughing the passer.
Yeah. So you see Thompson gets the ball, but his knee's already down. But the whistle's already blown, and then you have the defensive end coming in.
It's a Hatchian.
Yeah.
With the roughing the passer penalty. So Latin now with the football in Latin Academy territory here with 3:52 left to go.
And a 1st down. So if you're the Latin Wolfpack, you can't ask for a better situation. You mentioned 3:52. There's plenty of time. Like I said earlier, each 1st down will stop the clock. So you only have 2 timeouts, but if you use them correctly, that'll be plenty to give yourself a chance to get the score. And let's remember, it's 7-0. Okay, Latin does have a good kicker, but Ray Butler might just decide if they score a touchdown,
why not?
Go for 2.
Let's try to win it.
Yeah.
Right. Meanwhile, I just saw Rocco Ciza give it an earful to the referees once again.
I mean, I think Rocco might be questioning when the whistle was actually blown.
That's right.
Because his player sees the quarterback
Thompson get up and start to run.
Running with the football. Right.
Yeah, that's a tough situation for the defender as well. As he clearly didn't try to drag him down, but he did grab his jersey and swing him a little bit. So huge penalty. Puts Boston Latin on the 49. It's Harris on the screen. He is still on his feet. But they do force him out of bounds. Does Latin Academy right around the 45-yard line. So that's about almost a 6-yard loss on the play.
Sidelines, wide receiver screen.
Just seems like Latin Academy now is all over these quick passes here.
They really are.
You wonder if Latin School's going to try to take a shot deep.
2, 3, 4, 5. They have 5 defensive backs out there. They have their linebackers playing a little bit of depth.
Now on 2nd down, it's Brenzel with the carry. And he picks up maybe 2 on the play, up to the 47.
Yeah, not much there because Latin Academy is spread themselves waiting for passing plays. They're also in good position to keep everything in front. Third down play.
Thompson on third down. Going over the middle. Pass is knocked around and falls incomplete. He was looking for Markey.
Yeah, Markey actually he had actually cut right to the middle to the first down yardage. Defensive play, the extra defensive back in the play was able to get his hands on the ball. Raymond Kelly that time able to get that deflection.
Thompson,
so here it is, fourth down.
Yeah, 4th and 9 now for the Wolfpack. Thompson back to throw again, gonna air it out over the left side. Harris makes an adjustment to make the catch on the sideline.
I'll tell you, it looked like it was unintentional, but you see it in the pros all the time when the quarterbacks throw behind the receiver,
the back shoulder,
and allow him to come back. That was a beautiful adjustment by Harris. Wow.
Boston Latin faithful liking that one. That puts the Wolfpack on the Latin Academy 19-yard line. The handoff to Brenzel on first down as he tries to spin forward up to the 17-yard line.
Well, if there's any play that Ray Butler likes that he hasn't used at all tonight, now is the time. You got a second down and about 8. If you can show something or try to execute something that Latin Academy hasn't seen, it might break big for you.
Thompson looking for Harris again. He makes a catch, makes a cut, still on his feet. Harris rumbling forward. They blow him down at the 2-yard line.
Well,
DeAndre Harris.
Hey, we talked about him in the pregame, Pat, and now we're seeing why. I'm really impressed with his defensive game tonight, but he has now put Boston Latin in position to get their first score of the game. Went up to catch that, but watch the effort afterwards. Right here, nice cut. He's going to lower his shoulder. He's getting dragged down, tries to spin into the end zone, but all the time protecting the football, the biggest part. So we're talking about a 1st and goal from about the, 3-yard line.
We saw Latin School get it down here on their opening drive and were unable to punch it in.
Although on that 3rd down play, it looked like he might have been in.
It looked like Brenzel might have been in. So we'll see what the Wolfpack come up with here. They'll have 4 downs to do it. Meanwhile, Latin Academy got to be saying, we've come up with a goal line stand earlier in the game. We can certainly do it again. Their front seven's been pretty good in this ball game.
Well,
it's been the Wolfpack through the air that have had most of their success.
I'll tell you, for a game with not much scoring, this has been a fun game.
No question. Boston Latin, 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. Thompson on the shotgun, hands off to Brenzel. He fights forward. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Yuli Brenzel punching it through for the Latin Wolfpack.
So now, does Butler want to go for the win or go for the tie? He does have a good kicker. Nope, he's going for the win. They're staying out there. Well, they got to decide something because you don't want to waste that last time out. Okay, here we go. They are going for 2.
You got Harris and Markey at the top of your screen, Ahern at the bottom.
Not sure what the officials are. All right, they're going to remark the ball, replace the ball for some reason. Okay, the 2-point attempt. Here's the game.
Latin School trying to go ahead by 1. The handoff to Brenzel again. He's tripped up. Did he get in? They're marking him short of the goal line.
Yeah, he's in.
No, they give it to him. One side said yes, one side said no. Latin School converts on the two-point conversion.
Oh, well, I mean, I have no idea how it could take that long to figure it out. It looked like they were short. I mean, it looked like the officials are saying it was short. Neither one raised a hand. Oh, he's in already. Yeah, that should have been pretty quick. Because he actually bounced the ball in.
So Yuli Brenzel with the touchdown and the two-point conversion puts Boston Latin School up by 1, 8-7 here with 1:33 left to go.
Yeah, I'm not sure the officials are looking at each other. Meanwhile, Brenzel already has the football over the goal line.
So Boston Latin finally punches through, and they get the two-pointer. As you see another look at the conversion.
Brenzel, right on that dive, the ball is already in.
I think he was on top of the defender.
Latin Academy was trying to say his knee had already touched before he dropped the ball in, but in the end, it was called two-point conversion. You wonder if Rocco Ziza is thinking back to his decision to go for the extra point, especially as well as his team was running the football when they got their first touchdown.
Yeah, you had Merrick running well. You also had Maffeo running successfully on the quarterback keeper. So Crispin's going to field it for Latin Academy at the 14. Malcolm Crispin slips out of one tackle, then is dragged down at the 31. Coming up with the tackle for the Wolfpack is Jamar Fernandez-Guiardo.
Good return by Crispin. Did a really good job. As you have Chow coming from behind to take down Crispin. Well, we talked about Maffeo's arm. He has a good arm. He's a young player, but he's had this is his second year as varsity starting quarterback. So you got Latin Academy with 2 timeouts, 1:25 to go. They've gone downfield a few times tonight, so that's part of their regular offense.
We've seen their kicker also boot an extra point. You could see him try a field goal if they get close enough.
That's true.
They still got a ways to go, however. 1:25 left to go. Latin Academy down by 1. Maffeo running for his life, throws it over the middle to Soazo, who's dropped at the 33.
Looked like a delayed blitz by Boston Latin. A risky call, but effective because they were able to get Maffeo to be throwing while he's going backwards. See, there's a blitz. He's going backwards, off balance. Actually did a good job to even get the ball to his teammate.
Under a minute left to go now. 2nd down and 8 now for the Dragons. Maffeo gets stripped from behind. It's Harris who recovers the fumble.
Harris has had.
They're going to call it a forward pass.
Harris has had the game of his life here because he's been a star on defense, and then he set up their only score. Watch him. He's able to strip. That's a fumble.
That's absolutely a fumble.
Wow.
That is absolutely a fumble. If they call it incomplete, so it'll be 3rd down and 8. Here's another look at it.
Oh, he had no chance. He hadn't even started in motion. Well, a break for Latin Academy to see if they can take advantage. They've got to get a first down first. I mean, we're down to 47 seconds, but most importantly, they've got to keep possession. Yeah, he needs some protection. Merrick's going to stay in the backfield with him this time.
3rd down and 8. Latin Academy going deep down the right sideline and just out of the outstretched arms of Soazo.
Interesting. Merrick actually came across and double teamed Harris on that play. That allowed Maffeo to get that long pass off. Watch, right on your screen. See, Merrick comes over and double teams Harris so he wouldn't get to Maffeo. Well, right now you got to get 13 yards, 12 yards. You get a first down. That's the, I mean, time is still an issue, obviously, but you got to get the first down.
Latin Academy with 1 timeout left. With 2 timeouts
Yeah, 2.
left.
That inside screen to Maffeo has been working pretty much all night.
They fake the pitch. It's Maffeo. Scrambling for his life. And he's sacked in the backfield.
Looked like he was trying to get Crispin or Merrick on the opposite side of the field, but just couldn't get the ball out of his hands.
Guess who comes up with the sack? DeAndre Harris.
Oh, Harris has been amazing.
Fighting off blockers, staying with the play.
Oh, yeah, Harris. Yes. Wow. We come into the game expecting him to be an offensive star. And he dominates the game from the defensive end position. I can't think of the last time we had that situation where a defensive end really controlled the game.
That's
like
right.
this.
10 tackles for Harris tonight to go along with, I believe he had 3 receptions, 2 huge ones on the scoring drive.
Well, the one
for Boston Latin
that got them inside the 5-yard line, and that was the big one, obviously, because it allowed them to have their only touchdown, and then the 2 points to take the lead. Now there's some confusion with Latin again. One of the offensive linemen didn't realize they had the ball back.
Latin Academy will go into victory formation here. 31 seconds left, 2 timeouts left for Latin Academy. Boston Latin looking to ice this game. They're going to have to kneel on it 3 times to do it.
Yeah, I think Rocco's just going to let it run. Because they can't stop it after the second down, so.
And Latin Academy will let the clock run down to 0. So Boston Latin School with their first victory of the season, coming here at White Stadium against exam school rival Latin Academy. They squeezed by with a win 8-7 here in the 4th quarter. What a game here at White Stadium.
It was. For a game that just had 15 points, Pat, there was a lot of excitement up and down the field all 4 quarters. But high school football, you just never know what you're going to get. But I'll tell you, we had one of the biggest crowds in a long time, and they got a very exciting game.
That's right. They got their money's worth here tonight at White Stadium as the Boston Latin Wolfpack were able to defeat Latin Academy here at White Stadium 8-7. Both teams scoring in the second half. We were at 0-0 in the first half, and this is a huge win for Boston Latin School. I mean, they had that nice effort in the first week, but ended up losing to Cambridge by 10. And then last week we saw them here on Game of the Week at White Stadium. Not the greatest effort. He had a lot of guys banged up.
No, Brian just wore them down.
They had a lot of turnovers. They had some penalties, and it just wasn't the type of game that Latin School was looking for. They really needed this win tonight, and they got it.
Definitely. And I'll tell you, when the interception came from Latin Academy and they were deep in Boston Latin territory, that penalty really helped them defensively. But give them credit. The Boston Latin Wolfpack played the kind of defense they had to play. They had to get the ball back. They got it back, and then they were able to drive down a couple of huge plays, one of them by Harris with a catch on offense. But he was the defensive star of the game, and he was actually the overall star of the game.
Phenomenal game for DeAndre Harris. Latin School gets their first win of the season. Folks, we're going to head to break. When we come back, we'll have our Game of the Week MVP and our final stats here from White Stadium after this thrilling one here on Friday night, right after these words. Don't go away.
Foster safety. Foster hope. Foster joy. Foster curiosity. Foster support. Become a foster parent. because every parent makes a difference. Foster, Massachusetts.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck.
So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing. And it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
First time I tried biking, and it was laying around my mom's house. And then I kept taking them whenever I could get them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Do you want to retire like a champ? Just like legendary basketball star Uncle Drew?
Don't do him like that, Uncle Drew!
You're already acing the game. You've got your dream ride.
Don't be slamming my door.
Sorry about that.
You just did the same.
Gotta get the boys. Your dream vacation and your dream team. And now you can make your retirement just as legendary.
I get buckets.
Get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again. But an awkward silence can be a great thing, like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Queen is just my everything.
His smile did it. His smile, his eyes, his knowledge. My landlord, he decided that he wanted me to move based on the fact that I was transgender. Let's just respect people in everyday life for just being human.
Welcome back to White Stadium. At the conclusion of Game of the Week, the Boston Latin Wolfpack were able to hang on and defeat Latin Academy 8-7 with a thrilling victory where we saw them score a touchdown in the fourth quarter and then a 2-pointer to go ahead with just about a minute and a half left. So certainly this struggling Latin football team over the last couple of weeks, big win for them. That's certainly what the doctor ordered for the Wolfpack here tonight. And down on the field is our player of the game, DeAndre Harris. He was a menace on defense, made huge catches on offense. He and the game-winning coach, Ray Butler, are with our sideline reporter, Leverett Ball. So, Leverett, take it away.
Thanks, guys. So we're joined by our MVP, DeAndre Harris. Now, first off, DeAndre, you were all over the field. Had some catches downfield, made some tackles defensively, had that final sack there. What was the key to success for you tonight?
We just had determination, and we were really pushing through the whole game. I kept giving my teammates a lot of words of wisdom, tell them to keep their heads up. This game is not over, and I'm glad that we pushed through and came out with the win.
And obviously a come-from-behind victory for your team. How was the team able to stay positive, when you're trailing for as long as you were, but continue to work and be able to pull this off?
I feel like our team chemistry is off the charts, like way better than any other team. We all got our back and we all trust our players, like with our heart. So I'm really not worried about it because I feel like every game we're going to put in the effort and we're going to work.
And how much of a confidence boost is this for the team, this win, moving forward?
This is a really great confidence boost. Like, with the last season we had last year, we went really bad, but with this win early in the season, got a lot to hope for.
Well, DeAndre, thank you so much for your time and great job tonight. I have a couple questions for Coach.
Thank you.
All right, so Coach, first off, wow, what a game. I mean, like we were talking to DeAndre about, how was the team able to hang in there, and what did you say to the team just to keep them positive while they were trailing and keep them working hard?
I don't know that we were so positive at the half, but again, it's Friday night. You're under the lights. You had a great crowd on both sides, so it was a lot of fun. You're playing the sister school, so it was just a lot of fun. And if that ain't enough, I don't know what is.
And obviously DeAndre is such a weapon on both sides of the ball. What can you say about his individual performance tonight?
He's a special kid. He's a very special kid where we'd rather have him than not. And as long as he keeps working hard, we'll keep seeing him improving, and hopefully down the road we'll see him playing on Saturdays somewhere.
And obviously, you're able to, go for the win there, go for 2 on your touchdown. I know you're a team that is tough in between the tackles. How much confidence do you have in your offensive unit to be able to pull that off there?
We're really young up front, so the guys up top said, we got to run it. And I was like, you sure you don't want to run a fade to DeAndre? And they're like, nope, run it in. So that's what we did.
All right, well, Coach, thank you for your time. Congrats on the win.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Back to you.
Lever, thanks very much. Certainly Coach Butler staying calm here tonight with the first win of the season, but he's got to be probably almost relieved after what transpired here tonight.
There'll be some screams in that locker room once he gets
That's
there.
right, or maybe on the bus
sure.
riding back to Latin school.
Because when you think about it, just like Lever said, they come a long way. I mean, you're giving up, 47 points in your first game of the season. Then last week we had the O'Brien game, and the score wasn't even as bad as the game was because O'Brien really wore him down in that fourth quarter. So tonight, to first of all, shore up your defense. Excellent job with that, led by Harris. And then to be able to put together a game-winning drive at the end after you've just given up an interception.
Right.
Give Thompson a lot of credit at the quarterback spot. That long pass to Harris was huge, obviously, but I was just as impressed as on the slant pass that he caught to get the ball inside the 5-yard line.
That was a big play as well.
So those 2 catches on that last drive by Harris shows what he can possibly do both on offense and defense.
An 80-yard drive for Boston Latin School that got them to go ahead 8-7. Let's take a look at the final stats here from White Stadium before we sign off. First up is Latin Academy.
Yeah, Latin Academy, America had a big game. 13 for 79 yards and their only touchdown. Crispin also added 31 yards on 12 carries. Receiving Suazo all over the field just with 3 catches, though, 47 yards. What the big one that we actually went for a touchdown was called back on a penalty. That would have been like another 50 yards. Williams had 1 catch for nothing, and then passing overall, Masfeo 4 for 11, just 47 yards. Really surprised that we didn't see Masfeo put the ball in the air a lot more.
So go Boston Latin's final stats.
You see Latin workhorse Brenzel up top there, 18 carries, 55 yards, and the touchdown. Thompson, good job backing up as he was able to, from the quarterback spot, get 26 yards on only 4 carries. Receiving, we talked about Harris, ended up with 57 yards total on 4 carries. Machi, 15 yards on 4 carries. He was really covered pretty much over the middle where he likes to go. And then Thompson, overall, even though he had the 1 interception, he ended up 8 for 16 for 73 big yards, most of those yards on that last fourth quarter touchdown drive.
Fantastic drive there for Latin School. Meanwhile, you look at Latin Academy and really impressive effort tonight. They just weren't able to finish it all. They had a couple of tough penalties.
Can you spell frustration with a capital F?
No question. No question. They're going to be frustrated, especially with all those penalties.
Well,
but that football team's going to win a lot of games.
They are. I mean, some of the players that on offense, that inside screen that they run to Suazo, it was open. It's just unfortunate that the one time he really broke it all the way for a touchdown, it gets called back.
Right.
And I think you're right though, because they do a lot of things right. Like I said, I wasn't sure why Maffeo didn't get more chances to throw the ball downfield, but that might be an adjustment they make later on. But looking at their schedule, okay, Latin Academy next week, they have the Burke, South Boston, the Burke. Meanwhile, Boston Latin hits the road back to the Dual County League for the next 4 games. So this is a perfect sort of send-off for them in terms of
That's right.
getting them emotionally ready for that tough dual county schedule they'll have for the next month, right before they have the traditional Thanksgiving unit.
That's right. After this week, a lot of teams are going to be in league play for the rest of the season until that playoff format gets going. Folks, if you want to watch this game again, you're going to want to. If you saw that fourth quarter, you're definitely going to want to check this out again. First, you can go to our website, www.cityofboston.gov/game of the week. All the games from this football season will be up there. We also have basketball games and BNBL games as well. But you want to watch this game again, you can go there. You can also go to our Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/game of the week Boston. A lot of good stuff, videos, pictures, links to all the games. And finally, you can follow us on Twitter at Boston City TV. And if you want to tweet at us, use the hashtag BostonGOW. Next Friday night, we're going to be over at O'Brien High School for a 4 p.m. game when the Tigers host Tech Boston. But for right now, I'm going to say so long from White Stadium here on Game of the Week. Take care, everybody.